memorial addressed to the Education Commission by Mahatma Jyotirao Phule. In the connection with the same, we were dealing in the last lecture, and now we have to move towards the next part of the lesson, memorial address to the Education Commission. See here the views of Mahatma Phule. One of the most glaring tendencies of government system of high class education has been the virtual monopoly of all the higher offices under them by Brahmins. If the welfare of the riot is at heart, if it is the duty of the government to check a host of abuses, it behoves them to narrow this monopoly day by day so as to allow a sparkling of the other caste to get into the public services. Perhaps some might be inclined to say that it is not feasible in the present state of education. Our only reply is that if government looked a little less after higher education, which is able to take care of itself, and more towards the education of masses, there would be no difficulty in training up a body of men. Every was qualified and perhaps far better in moral and manners. My object in writing the present volume is not only to tell my Shudra brethren how they have been duped by Brahmins, but also to open the eyes of the government to that pernicious system of high class education, which has hitherto been so. George Campbell, the present Lieutenant Government of Bengal, with broad universal sympathies, are finding to be highly mischievous and pernicious to the interest of the government. I sincerely hope that the government will ere long see error of their ways. Trust less to return to writers or men who look through high class spectacles and take the glory into their own hands of emancipating, means to give freedom to the and rights to the people. My Shudra brethren, from the trammels of bondage which the Brahmins have woven around them like the coils of serpent, it is no less the duty of each of my Shudra brethren as have received any education to place before the government the true state of their fellow men and endeavor to best of their power of emancipate themselves from Brahmin. Let there be school for the Shudras in every village, but away from Brahmin schools or Brahmin masters. The Shudras are the life and sinews of the country, and it is to them alone and not to the Brahmins that government must here ever look to the tide over their difficulties, financial as well as political. If the hearts and the minds of the Shudras are made happy and contented, the British government need have no fear for their loyalty in the future. This one is the primary information where what he says about the text. Then now we have to see his views on the primary education. The views of the Mahatma Phule about the primary education are as below. There is a little doubt that the primary education among the masses in the presidency has been very much neglected. Although the numbers of primary school now in existence is greater than the number of primary schools available before few years, yet they are not the government collects a special cess for educational purpose. Sorry. Here he adds that a good deal of their poverty, their want of self-reliance, their entire dependence upon the learned and intelligent classes is attributed to to this deplorable state of education among the peasantry. Even in towns, the Brahmins, the Purbos, the hereditary classes who generally live by the occupation of pen and trading class seek primary instruction. The cultivating and the other classes, as a rule, do not generally avail themselves of the same. A few of the latter classes are found in the primary and secondary classes. But owing to their poverty and the other causes, they do not continue long at school, as there are no special inducement for these to continue at school. They naturally leave off as soon as they find manual or other occupation. In village, also most of the cultivating classes hold aloof along owing to extreme poverty and also because of they require their children to tend cattle and look after their fields. Besides an increase in the number of schools, their special inducement in the shape of the scholarship and half yearly or annual prices to encourage them to send their children to school and thus create in them a taste of learning is most essential. I think primary education of the masses should be made compulsory up to certain age, say at the age of 12. Mohammedans also hold aloof from these schools, as they somehow evince no liking for Marathi or English. There are few Mohammedans primary schools where their own language is taught. The Mahars and the Mangs and the other lower classes are also practically excluded from all schools owing to higher classes or higher caste. Consequently, special schools for these have been opened by government, and these exist only in large towns in the whole of Pune, and for the population exceeding over 5,000 people, there is only one school, and in which the attendance is under 30. This state of matters is not at all creditable to the educational authorities. Under the promise of the Queen's proclamation, I beg to argue that Mahars and the monks and the other lower classes, which their number is large enough, should have separate school for them, as they are not allowed to attend the other schools owing to caste prejudices. In the present state of education, payment by result is not at all suitable for the promotion of education among the poor and the ignorant people. Here, the Jyotirao Phule speaks about the total caste system, total education system, and condition of the primary education in those days. The primary education was not for all the classes and the masses of the society. Very few from the upper caste were enrolled in the schools, and the remaining, the masses, were away from the schools. Here he demands to the government, the British government, that there should be some schools for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, and those who are in the downtrodden classes or downtrodden society. Here, such type of the facility, if the provided by the government, then in such cases, here the quality education can be spread to each and every person in the society and each and every caste in the society. Here he speaks about the Muslims, where they were not interested to enroll their kids in the Marathi or English medium schools, but they were interested to teach them their religious books only. And here the Mahatma Phule speaks about, as the Pune is a city having the population more than 5,000, so the schools for the scheduled caste and scheduled tribes should be opened in each and every area, so that the people should get enrolled, the people should get education in the school, because they were not allowed to sit beside the upper caste students in the schools, so as to avoid the harassment in the school. Here such type of the recommendation is there by Mahatma Phule, where he speaks about the equality and right to education, or education for all. Such type of the thoughts are here of the Mahatma Phule. We will continue the same in the next lecture. This one is the second part of our lesson, that is the memorial addressed to the Education Commission. Okay, thank you. Good day.